Good morning, all. How are we? Morning, TikTok. Morning, Facebook. Morning, YouTube. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all well. What is it? Tuesday. I don't know. Give a minute. It's Tuesday, the 19th of August. I broke a fleece out this morning. I'm a bit cold. It doesn't help that I have my office door wide open for the dogs so they can just sort of mooch in and out. But it's a bit fresh in it this week. It's a little bit fresher. I don't mind it. I said this last week or a couple of weeks ago. I am ready for like hoodie weather. I am. I'm getting to that stage now. Like, I love summer. I really, really do. I live for the summer at times, but sometimes it is just nice sticking a hoodie on. I do like hoodie, especially when you're chilling out on the couch and stuff. Anyway, got my fleece on this morning. So that's all good. I have got my office door open. There seems to be a lot of noise going on. We've got some roadworks on at the end of our lane, which I think if you can hear a whirring sound, that's what that'll be. We've also got a new housing estate across the way going on as well. So, yeah, so lots of noise, which I apologise for if you can hear it. What have I been up to this morning? I've been here early this morning. Oh, we've been getting on it this morning. Tell you what I've been doing. Worth the calories. So I do Worth the Calorie videos. If you don't know, go check them out on YouTube every week. Basically, where I get 4 or 5 products and I review them to tell you if they're worth spending the calories on. This is just a little food review sort of thing, really. But I try and aim it. Around foods that would support a weight loss journey, protein, fiber, a bit more lower calorie. But I also put some treats in there as well. Anyway, next episode is episode 50. Now, I am also filming 51 at the same time. So my plan this week is for episode 50, which would basically mark a year. It's about 12 months since I did the first one. In fact, I was looking this morning. I think we might be over a year. Let me go into playlists. Let me go into Worth the Calories. I don't know if it tells you when you upload. Well, yes, it does. Right, it does. Hang on. Let me go to the bottom. I know it was in August. That's episode. Hang on. Let me get my phone out of the bloody way. I can't see how. Right, why can't I go for? Oh, I can. Right, so the first episode was the 20 that I uploaded was the 28th of August 2024. So I'm a little bit premature. Technically, the first birthday is next week, but I just thought episode 50 would be good as like a special edition kind of thing. So episode 50, I'm either going to do. I'm thinking I'm going to do my top 10, and basically I'm just going to cut the top 10 reviews that I've done and then just put them into a video. Could be a long one, could be over an hour, but that'll be like anniversary edition, episode 51 year anniversary edition, and then episode 51 we'll be back to normal. So I'm going to try and get them out, both those episodes out this week. Out today is a shopping vlog, Sainsbury's. So I've been editing that again this morning. Went to Sainsbury's yesterday, did a little bit of a shopping vlog, picked up a couple of bits and pieces, saw a few bits and pieces that aren't in other supermarkets, and just generally walking around a supermarket and nattering about food. That will be out today, 4 o'clock-ish, 5 o'clock-ish, something like that. There we go. That's it. Ben on YouTube, much prefer this weather, mate. Rolling autumn and winter, I can't cope with the heat. I honestly, on holiday, it can be as hot as it wants to be. Rachel does not know. I love it. Like, the hottest holiday I've ever been on, went to Turkey in September 2020, right bang in the middle of COVID. It was baking hot. Benidorm in June was not far away. They were having a massive heat wave coming up from the Sahara, I think. I love it. I do. I absolutely love it. But in this country, it's not like this weekend was amazing. It was sunny, but it wasn't overly hot. We're just not ready for it but I do enjoy, like, if it's dry, I love it being dry. No one ever wants it rainy, do they? But yeah, if it's dry, but the temperature's putting on. All for that. And I am. But we went to the range on Sunday. They've got loads of Halloween, like autumn stuff out, and you're like, they've got Christmas stuff out. Not all, but they're getting ready to put the Christmas display out because they're clearing out the back of the range where they have the Christmas display. But at the front of the store, they had some Christmas cushions out and a few other bits and pieces. I'm like, it's flipping August. Let's get August out of the way first. But But obviously, it's a big money-making thing for like garden centres, isn't it? So I get why they put it in September time. But yeah, quick, it's not far off. And then last night, I did the live last night, and then Rachel was like, when she come in, she was like, I've got 2 bars of petrol left. She didn't. She had flipping 3. So she could have gone to work and back today on it, and I could have gone tonight filled up. But anyway, that's by the by. She was like, I've got 2 bars of petrol left. Can we go to the petrol station and put some petrol? So yeah, no problem. So we went up to the petrol station, and like I finished my live last night, 9 o'clock, pitch black. So we've still got a good. You've still got a good month or 6 weeks until it's like 7 o'clock dark. Do you know what I mean? But you're just starting to notice it this time of year, aren't you? It goes so fast. Lisa on YouTube, good morning. Right, let's do top 5 on TikTok. This morning, who's in? Callum's in number 1. Callum, you're in number 1. You're the winner at the moment. You're in number 1 nearly every one, I think. Clive, thank you very much for the gift, guys. You never need to gift me, but if you do, it's much appreciated. Michael P, good morning. Mr. John Jackson's, Michael's in at number 2. Mr. John Jackson's in at number 3. Dodd is in at number 4. And Lisa's in at number 5. Good morning, guys. Thank you very much for coming straight to the live, coming and saying hello. Anas is in. Good morning, Debs. Was it worth shopping in Sainsbury's, Neil? Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, supermarkets are supermarkets, aren't they? Most of when you've got a chain supermarket, Asda, Tesco, Morrison's, a lot of the stuff is very, very similar. But in supermarkets, you do get a few brand exclusives. You do get, like, it's their own brand sort of bits and pieces that we're looking at. But yeah, I got a few bits and pieces yesterday that I've never seen in other supermarkets. Highlighted a couple of bits that I think might help people. I don't know. It's always much of a muchness, isn't it? And at the end of the day, you've only got so long. And it wasn't, I said this yesterday, it was a tough vlog to film, actually, because it was, I don't think I picked the best Sainsbury's. It was quite busy. I picked the one next to the, I picked the one yesterday next to the train station in Blackpool. And being a Monday, there was a lot of people that have obviously come to Blackpool for the weekend that were getting the train. So it was busy. It's also kids' summer holidays. It's also in a bit of a random part of Blackpool. So it just was, but it was all right. I've gone through it. I think there's a few bits and pieces that'll help you there. And yeah, I've picked up some bits that I've never had before. So yeah, definitely worth having a mooch around. And would I do it again? Yeah, probably in a few months' time. I'm going to try and do Morrison's next week. I'm trying to get a few more out this week. So the week after, the first week of September, I'm having the week off. So I'm having the week off the first week of September. I'm actually away Friday night till Wednesday morning. I am going to be back in work Thursday. Rachel's back in work. So I will be back doing lives and this, that, and the other. Though I am going to on the Thursday try and just chill a little bit. There's going to be no content really out that week. Like YouTube content. I'm going to try and film a little bit ahead of the game. So what I mean by that is, if I can, I might try and do, try and get a worth of calories video out next week, and then one the week, film like 2 in 1 if I can. And then the week after, so that week, so I might try and get a worth of calories out that week. There won't be an Everything Weight Loss vlog that week because I'm away. I'm going to try and do an Everything Weight Loss vlog next week, even though it's bank holiday Monday. Probably be maybe a day ahead. Maybe, I don't know. I might even film it on the Monday. I'm going to do it live on Monday morning, even though it's bank holiday, because I'm away the week after. So yeah, what I'm basically trying to say, I'm trying to get a good bit of content out this week and a good bit of content out next week, and then I'm having a week off. How rude! I was watching Sketty and Prawn vid, and you went live. The Sketty and Prawn vid. All right, do you know what? It's a great dish. That it is a great dish, and those prawns have made it. I think will make it into my top 10 for worth of calories. I'm up to episode 41. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm up to episode 41. And I've got 12 items. So I am going to whittle it down to 10. And then am I going to whittle it down to a top 10? Maybe. I don't know. I always find top 10s quite hard to do. So I might do it. Yeah, there's no particular order. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where we get to. But I'm going to try and sort that out today and get that out tomorrow. I'd like to do a podcast tomorrow to get out for Thursday, and then a standard episode of Worth the Calories out today. There's not going to be a recipe, I don't think, this week. Don't think I'm going to get a recipe out this week. Just haven't had time, especially with doing these extra worthy calories. I can only do so much, but there's 44 recipes on the YouTube channel. Go check them out. There's loads on there. Yeah, heat abroad is lush, but it's not the same in this country, especially not when we have to work. I think that's a big thing, isn't it? Working in it. Yeah, working in it is the issue. No aircon, working in it. You know, abroad, you lie by a pool, you can just go out for drinks. I can't wait. We're in Benidorm a week on Friday. Looking forward to a little blast of sun. Now, the weather this summer has been decent. We've had a good summer this year. We can't whinge too much at all. It's been very, very dry. We've had some nice spells of sunshine. So, can't whinge for the UK this year, even if it goes rubbish now. But I think it's meant to be decent all week. This week, it's just a bit cooler. There we go. Advice, please. At 4 weeks in Benidorm, I came home. Came home only gained £2. That's amazing. But since then, I've gained £5. Could this be catch up by? No, it's just water, Lisa. So Lisa's gone to Benidorm for 4 weeks, right? And she's come back and she's got on the scales and she's gained £2. Since then, she's gained £5. When you've been in a hot country for 4 weeks, you'll come back dehydrated, right? Especially if you've been having a little bit of alcohol and this, that, and the other. And basically, what your body's done, you know, Lisa's put, could this be catch up by the body, as people are saying? I don't know what people are saying that, Lisa. It's just, you'll just be rehydrating the body. So basically, Lisa's come back £2 heavier. She might have got a little bit of a false positive on the scales. You can just catch the scales right sometimes where they just give you a false representation of your actual weight. But if you've got back, Lisa, and it's been really hot in Benidorm, I know it has because I've got a few friends over there and follow content creators over there. When we are dehydrated and we then come back and we start drinking a few more fluids, the body holds a lot of those fluids until the body's confident it's hydrated again. When it's hydrated again, you'll flush out a lot of water retention. So I'm dehydrated from the weekend. Yesterday, I drank quite a bit of water. I wasn't really peeing that much, right? So I'll be heavier this morning than I was yesterday morning. Even though I got back to my normal eating yesterday, I only ate 1,650 calories, I think, yesterday. And I did drink quite a lot of fluids yesterday. I'll be heavier. I'd have been heavier yesterday than I would have been than Friday, and I'll be heavier today. I'd probably be a little bit heavier tomorrow as well. When my height, I'll then flush out that excess water retention and the weight will come down. That would be my guess, Lisa. You've either caught the scales right and you've actually gained £5 from being in Benidorm for a month, right? And you've just caught the scales right, or you're gaining a bit of water retention. I don't know what people mean by the body's playing catch up. Those would be the two reasons. You've either, when you've weighed two and you've shown £2, it's just a false positive and you've just caught the scales at the right time. Which maybe that's what people mean. The body's playing catch up. It's, you know, it's a false representation. But for me personally, I just think you've got back. You're probably getting back into your normal pattern, getting hydrated. You're not sweating the fluids out because it's hot. Your body's soaking it up now to get rehydrated, and that'll just be showing on the scales. Wait a week, I reckon it'll be gone. As long as you stay consistent with getting hydrated. Gemma Downs, good morning. Right, let's get through some of these TikToks. I thought it was cold today too. Yeah, it is definitely a bit fresh. It was yesterday morning. It was nice in the afternoon. Lou, good morning. James, morning. Handsome, morning, mate. Hope you're good. Need to buy new winter clothes. I've lost 5 stone since last winter. Amazing, Rachel. That is actually the beauty of winter clothes. I'm the same in a way. Right, I've lost a lot of weight, and I put this fleece on this morning. I've not had it on for a couple of months, and it's really baggy on me, which is great. I always think that with winter clothes, you can get away with them a little bit more. It is great buying new clothes after weight loss. It's flipping expensive at times. But I think with hoodies, you can wear baggy hoodies, can't you? I actually love a baggy hoodie. I've tried a couple of hoodies on in the last week, actually, because I want to stick some on Vinted because I've got loads of hoodies. And a couple of hoodies I've tried, I'm like, wow, they're massive now. Really good size. And hoodies that I wore last winter that were like, I wish they were massive. They're definitely a lot looser on me, a lot bigger. So, yeah, I get it. Thanks for the next person, Lisa, not a problem at all. So, yeah, it's, but certain things, Yeah, I always think coats you can get away with being quite big because you can layer up underneath them and stuff. I always think it's your summer clothes that are more of an investment. Like I put a t-shirt on Saturday night to go out in, and I flipping love the t-shirt. And actually, the way I wore it, it was fine. But it's a represent t-shirt. It's a 2XL. They're oversized anyway. It was absolutely hanging off me. But I wore it with some denim shorts, some Nike Dunks, and a cap because I always wear a cap, and it looked fine. It looked decent, being very oversized, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm enjoying the cooler mornings right now, having heat. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, you went so good at the weekend. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. Where's the bit Vitty golf ice creams from? They're a bit different. Four. You didn't get four in a packet. Yeah, the Vitty gold bar ice creams. Iceland. I did put it on the post. They're from Iceland. Really good. 143 calories. Someone put in a post the other day or in a comment, like as a tip, and it is a top tip. I've said it before. If you love a chocolate bar, look at the ice cream alternative. They're really good. They're really decent on calories. Like a Mars bar is like 200 calories. The ice cream bar is like 140. And I don't wrong. I know a gold bar is 95 calories and the gold ice creams are 143, but they're twice the size. They're really, really nice. I had one on Sunday. They're rich. You don't need any more than that. You don't need any more than that because they're quite rich. Really, really good. I just saw them in Iceland. I was like, trying them because I love a gold bar. Love a gold bar. Laid a great foundation yesterday, banked a few and got some steps in. We love that. We love laying good foundations for weight loss. You lay a foundation for the year. You can lay a foundation for a day. How do you lay a good foundation for weight loss for today? What you're eating today should be in your app now, right? When you should know when are you going to get your steps in, what you're eating today, your plan for the day, and then stick to it. That's laying a good foundation, knowing exactly now what you're going to do. Yeah, I'm having my yogurt bowl for breakfast. I'm having an omelette for me dinner. I'm having a BLT for tea. Whatever, you know what you're having. I've got my protein shake mid-afternoon sorted out. I've got my protein shake for the evening sorted out. I'm going to get my steps in. I'm going to take the dogs out at 11 o'clock. I'm going to take the dogs out again at 3 o'clock. I'm hitting the gym at R4 doing some weights. I've got my spin class at 5. I know exactly what I'm doing today. And I'm going to go tick, 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 tick. Bang. That's because I know exactly what I'm doing today, So that's laying the foundation. How do we lay a good foundation for a week? Just like John said there, we had a good Monday, got some steps in, banked some calories, tick the boxes, sets you up. You're not chasing your tail. If he has another good day today, he's laid a great foundation for the week. And I always think when you have a good Monday, Tuesday, it rolls into next thing Wednesday's good, then Tuesday, then Thursday's good, then Friday's good. And then even if your weekend's a bit all over the place, if you've banked some good calories, generally you'll still be in a decent place at the end of the week. So, we can lay a good foundation for the month. It's like, right, first week of the month. I really want to do well in September. First week, I'm going to nail my first week. That'll set me up. I'm positive then. I'm all good. I'm not saying, I'm meant to do really well in my first week of September. It's been really rubbish. And week 2's not great. I'm halfway through the month now. I'm meant to have lost 6 pounds in September this time. So, yeah, we can lay these foundations. Lay a foundation for the year. I absolutely nailed January, February, March this year. Right? And it set me up for hitting my goal this year. Since March to now, I'm about 8 pounds lighter. 9 pounds lighter. That's it. And you might be sat there going, what? March, April, May, June, July. We're halfway through. So in 5.5 months, you've lost 8 pounds, Neil. That's like, that's not even £2 a month. How do you feel like you're having a good weight loss journey? Because in that time, right, I've actually gained about 16 pounds of body fat, maybe 12 pounds of, no, maybe not 16, maybe 12, maybe 14 at a push. Because at the beginning, I went to Egypt and I gained about 3 pounds, right? And I think that was body fat. I went to Fuengirola and I gained about 4 pounds body fat, right? I gained a bit more than that, but what I gained in body fat. I went to Benidorm at the end of June. I gained 8 pounds. And I think definitely 7 pounds of that was body fat. So I've gained 14. But net I'm 8. So I've actually lost 22 pounds. So March, April, May, June, July, half August, I've lost 22 pounds. That's averaging like 5 pounds a month, right? or £4 to £5 a month, which is fine, which is good, right? Because I've also had a bit of food freedom, and I've had some weekends where I've not been 100% accurate, and this, that, and the other. So, but I'm still sat here now, like 3 stone down. Why am I 3 stone down? Because I had that amazing like January, February, March. I absolutely boxed it off. Yeah, from April onwards, 1st of April onwards, it's been a little bit up and down, but that's just the way it is. Weight loss isn't about just being perfect and great all the time. You're gonna have peaks and troughs. I had a peak Jan, Feb, March. Even though I went to Egypt actually in March, I still lost a good amount of weight. I lost like just over 2 stone the first 3 months of the year, and I've lost like 8, maybe £10 the rest of the time. So it is laying these foundations are really, really good. Gemma, I like Halo Top ice cream. I do. There's certain flavors I like, certain flavors I don't. I think it can be a bit hit and miss, actually, Halo Top. I think it's got much better than when it first came out. Very expensive. Flavors of Halo Top I like strawberry cheesecake, and I like they do a chocolate brown one, and they do a peanut butter one, which is decent. But the best low calorie ice cream now is Aldi's. Aldi's peanut, if you like peanuts, of course. Aldi's peanut ice cream is just unbelievably good. It for a few number of reasons. Number one, it tastes amazing. Number two, it's £2.30 a tub, right? Number three, it's 300 calories a tub. It's stupidly low calorie. It's stupidly tasty, and it's stupidly cheap for a low calorie ice cream. So it just ticks all the boxes. But Halo Top, there are some Halo Top flavors. I actually like the Halo Top lollies. Like they do the chewy, the gooey brownie, I think, flavor, like 90 calorie ice creams. Really, really good. They're good. Good morning, Neil. I've got a road trip planned, 3 days and 2 nights. Not a holiday and want to stay on track. Any advice for eating out? Trevor, do you know what? For me, mate, we've just got to try and make more informed decisions, right? And we can do that. I could take any of you now to any pub, restaurant, chain restaurant, independent restaurant, give me a menu, and there are better options to choose when it comes to weight loss. And when we are talking a better option, we're talking more calorie control, right? Now, generally for me, if I'm trying, and again, it's one of those, if you've not, I think you've just been away, Trevor, as well, haven't you? So we've got to have a bit of compromise somewhere. For me, if I'm going away for a few days, I'm just going to enjoy my few days away and then get back at it. But we can end up in scenarios where we just end up like life just takes over a little bit. You might have a work trip, then a holiday, then a trip away, then something else. And there's got to be a little bit of give and take. There has to be a little bit of give and take. I had this last year. I had a lot of stuff on in a very short period of time, and there wasn't any give and take for me. I just went at everything full throttle, and it did put a bit of a dint in. And it can just, and then you can feel like you're chasing your tail a little bit, But Trevor's specifically asked me about eating out. So yeah, it's just about making more informed choices. So if you're eating out at night time, you're generally better off going off the grill section if you go into a restaurant. So it might not be the cheapest, but having a gammon, having a steak, something like that, don't eat the fat off the gammon. You might be like, well, that's the best bit, Neil. I know it is, right? But that's also where all the calories are. You can also, it's like, what do you do with your sides? Do you have chips every time? Or do you say, do you do new potatoes? Do you do a jacket spud? Bit of butter in it? It might only save you 150 calories, but it's certainly better. But I'd go for more like, getting a rump steak or a sirloin steak or a piece of gammon is going to be better calorie control than, getting the big double bacon cheeseburger, right? And they still taste good, You can, there's always options. And this is the thing. We use eating out as an excuse all the time. And like I say, if you're going out for a meal every now and then, it's absolutely fine. We should be able to have periods where we just go and enjoy a meal, irrelevant of what we're having, whether you want a steak pie or you want a burger. But if you're going out a lot, or you've been away a lot, or you do actually, I'm going on like Trevor said, I'm going on a bit of a road trip. I do want to stay on track a little bit for it. Don't get me wrong, I might not be quite where I'm at home, but we can make more informed choices. You can go to, and I'm not just talking about this isn't holidays. I could go today and pick out I could go Tesco meal deal, and I could pick out a high protein, calorie controlled meal deal under 500 calories with a good amount of protein that will do the job and fill you up, and will actually taste pretty nice. I could also go to Tesco and get a meal deal today that's over 1,000 calories, right? I could go, sorry, I'm not going to get a meal deal. I'm going to go to Mackey's and get get a large Big Mac meal with a Coke, over 1,000 calories, right? Or I could go to McDonald's. A mate of mine, Pete, come on the live last night and said he had 3 grilled chicken wraps yesterday from Mackey's. Now, I don't like the grilled chicken wraps from Mackey's. They're not my favourite, but it was 1,000 calories and he got 90 grams of protein in. So if you're out and about, if you're out and about working on the road, say, right, and you nip into Mackey's at 11 and get a grilled chicken wrap, the 350 calories and 30 grams of protein, right? And if you get the grilled chicken wrap of the day, the £2.20, right? So you can just have 2 of them, 600 calories, 60 grams of protein, 600, 700 calories. So we can make more informed choices. We can make better choices. Just because we're out the house doesn't automatically mean we have to choose the highest calorie options. But, is it easier to go, I'll just have this rather than having a little look through? Now, I went out Saturday night and I know I was having a good few beers and we were going out for a Mexican. A Mexican can be calorific, right? It can be. But I wanted a little bit of compromise. And I've had these before, they're absolutely delicious. And I just got the chicken fajitas. And, out of I could have gone quesadillas. I could have gone crazy with some of the things that they do there. Got stuff with loads of cheese in. And I didn't. I just went the fajitas, tortilla wraps, chicken and peppers and onions on a sizzling platter. Yeah, full fat sour cream, bit of guacamole, bit of salsa, pico de gallo, they call it, whatever it is, bit of salsa, some refried beans. It's about the best, and it tastes delicious. Right? I could have gone more than that. Could have gone a bit more crazy. Like I say, I could have got the enchiladas, which are covered in cheese. I could have gone for the quesadillas that are full of cheese. I could have, and blown a lot more calories. I didn't. I made a more informed choice. It was still a calorific day, but I could have easily, I tracked my food in the Mexican as 1,100 calories, right? And then fajitas would have been under 1,000 calories, but I put 1,172 down because I also had a couple of sweet potato fries that Rachel had ordered. I could have quite easily spent over 2,000 calories on food, but I just decided to make a more informed choice and didn't enjoy it any less. Right, let me scroll up on TikTok. Random, are the Represent t-shirts a good length? Yeah, really good. Really good. You get a lot of oversized t-shirts nowadays that are cropped, like this boxy fit. And I'm the same. I'm 6'5", right? But I've not got that longer legs. I've got 31-inch leg, right? I've got a very long torso, so I really struggle with long t-shirts. And I have a bit of PTSD. I used to have a massive apron when I was 37 stone. I've had it removed now. So I always wanted t-shirts that would cover up my overhang of my belly. And I still am a bit like that now. I like a longer t-shirt. But yeah, I find the Represent t-shirts a really good set. They're a really good fit. Like I say, beginning of this year, they're oversized. So their 2XL is probably a 3XL. And their 2XL was oversized on me. It was on the verge of being like too big, but that's the fashion of them. Now their 2XL hangs off me. But again, you can get away with it because the oversized t-shirts are really in fashion at the moment. But I have bought in the sale recently a couple of Represent t-shirts that are just an XL and they fit me spot on as well. So I will when I'm willing to give up the t-shirts that I love, I will probably stick them on Vinted and sell them because they are too big for me now. Didn't have the best day yesterday. Looking after my friend's dog, who's a nightmare. Steps lower than I wanted, but on target. 291 calories under for the day. It's been a struggle though. Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it sounds like you've had a good day, right? But when you have a good day, you banked 291 calories, that's great. Steps are a little bit lower, but you said you've hit your target. Lower than you wanted, but you're on target. That is a good day. What's made it feel like not a good day is because you put it was a struggle, and that's not what we want it to be, right? We don't. Every now and then, though, we have to accept what we need to do will be a struggle. It will be a little bit trickier, right? It's just the way of weight loss, But as long as more days are a bit more plain sailing than struggles, it's fine. If every day is a struggle, it chips away at your mindset, it chips away at your mentality. And, You know, no one will ever do something consistent that they find hard work, right? Like you'll have days at work. Yeah, I have days at work where I'm just like, oh, it's really, I do check-ins on a Friday. It's really busy and it's mentally taxing, constantly trying to big people up, trying to, and I love it. And I mean that sincerely. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. I'd never do anything that I don't enjoy, right? I'd look at doing a different career path or going back into PT or something like that. I love doing my check-ins, but it is a really tough day. I couldn't do check-ins 5 days a week. I literally couldn't, right? Some of my mates are like, I'm not saturated with work. I can take on one-to-one clients, but I get to, because people drop off and people sign back up. But I do get some mates that are like, why don't you split your check-ins and have some people check in Thursday, some people check in Friday? I couldn't do 2 days of check-ins. It's too mentally draining on me, right? I'd rather do 60 in one day than do 30. I get my brain into check-in mode. Right? That's what I do. I get my brain into check-in mode and I just sit there and I just work through them. I don't want to put my brain into check-in mode 2 days in a row. I don't want to, right? Because it's and I wouldn't enjoy my job if I had to do that. I generally wouldn't. Doing them on a Friday, seeing everyone's results is great, but too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. Does that kind of make sense? So yeah, if I was doing check-ins 5 days a week, I would nowhere near enjoy my job as much as I do now. I love the routine that I have now. I love doing my check-ins on a Friday. I do a big content sort of creation day on a Monday and a bit of admin. Tuesday, sort of catching up with clients, and I do try and do the progress sheets and a bit more editing, and I set up plans for the people that are going to start. Same with writing plans. My plans, I've gotten down to a T to writing my plans up. But there's a reason why I only tend to start 5 clients a week, because once I've written 5 plans in a week, I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. I do have weeks where I do 10 plans sometimes. But again, once I've done 5, I need a break from it. My head's had enough, and that's why I move on to the following week, Right, let me scan up. Luckily, most places have calories on the menu. So, calories on the menu. It came in about 4 years ago, that any restaurant that has more than 250 employees must display calories on their menus. So we are talking chain restaurants. So obviously an individual Nando's doesn't have 250 employees, but Nando's nationwide has more than 2. So basically any chain restaurant. So your Nando's, your Brewers Fayre, any chain pubs, your Harvesters, your Miller and Carters, all these fast food places, Mackey's, KFC, they will all display their calories. They're all there. And if you know where you're eating, right, you can then plan and look ahead, look at the menu, go through it, see what fits in with your calories. Also, Nutracheck has an eating out section. Every chain in the UK, their calories are in Nutracheck. Nutracheck also has a takeaway section where it kind of guesstimates independent Chinese, fish and chips, Indian restaurants as well. But every chain that's in the UK, whether it be All Bar One, Wetherspoons, Nando's, like I say, Miller and Carter, Brewers Fayre, pretty much everyone, right, is in that app. So you can use that to sort of track. Not every, I've had a few cases where that item's not in there, but most of the popular items are in there. Independent restaurants, cafes, still don't have to display calories. And there's a good reason for that. I've been to some independent places and they try and do it. And I'm just like, who's calculating these calories here? And I generally mean it, because they're either way under or way over. So, even if you go to an independent restaurant and the calories are on the menu, take them with a pinch of salt. Genuinely take them with a pinch of salt, because your big chains, they will invest. They'll have a full, section, employed nutritionalists that are there, that are weighed, and everything in a chain restaurant is weighed out. It's all weighed out. The amount of pasta you get, the amount of chips you get, that's what chain restaurants run on. That's how stock takes work. McDonald's, if you bought 20 portions of medium fries, they'll all be different, but they'll all be roughly the same, if that makes it. It's one scoop and then a topper in it. So your independence, so companies that have less than 250 things, they don't have to. Now, you might have some local independent chains that might, they might be in a certain area that are quite a big company, and they've got 6 pubs or 6 cafes or 6 restaurants. They earn good money and they might employ a nutritionist, to work out, and it might be all right. But I would take independence with a pinch of salt, Do you have any experience training people who struggle with emotional eating? It's one of my main things. It's pretty much it. I would say it's 70% of my coaching. 70% of my coaching is working with all my clients, and I've got like 150 active clients in terms of one-to-one that work with me on my plan. If you want to send us a one-to-one plan, a week tomorrow, my summer deals end. So up until next Wednesday, you can get signed up to my one-to-one plan, 15 quid, one-off payment, and then it's $29.99 a month for a minimum 3 months, right? So you've got 3 months commitment. After that, it's a rolling contract. Or you can get a full 12 months one-to-one weight loss coaching, one-off payment, 260 quid. This time next year, you listen to me, you follow my plan, we'll work on your emotional eating. And like I say, it's one of the biggest things I do, with my clients, is working on the mindset side of things. And it all triggers to emotional eating. A lot of it does. I'm doing a weight loss coaching live today on getting out of your comfort zone, right? Pushing yourself a little bit. So an example of that is we have a comfort zone where we don't get out of the house much, right? Getting out of the house much and sitting within 4 walls means you've got too much time to think, right? Think of your 4 walls as a little prison cell. And when your thoughts are there, they're bouncing around in these 4 walls and you can't clear your mind. When you can't clear your mind, you start overthinking. Overthinking can increase negative thoughts. Negative thoughts can lead to emotional eating, right? Whereas if you leave the house 2-3 times a day, there are no walls, right? And I know this might sound a little bit hippie-ish, a little bit philosophical, and all this so on and so forth. But literally, like when you're outside going for a walk, these thoughts kind of, and it's kind of like you're distracted. Basically, you can clear your mind because you're not concentrated and stuck in this environment that you're used to. You're going for a walk, you might see other people, you might chat to other people, you see cars, you see birds, you see cats, dogs. And I know it sounds daft, but it allows you to free your mind. Leave your phone in your pocket, get away from social media. And it's so good for us. It is so good for us just getting out and about. I've actually done I did this yesterday. I did a little video and I've done a follow-up video to it about why getting your steps in, going for a walk is so important. And yeah, calorie burn has to be taken into consideration. But one of the biggest factors is what it does to your mental health. Fat loss, obesity, weight loss, whatever you want to call it, whatever you're struggling with, is a mental health disorder, right? And depending on where your weight issues are will determine on how bad your emotional eating is. Everyone emotionally eats, right? People that aren't overweight, that have never had a weight issue, we emotionally eat, right? We always look for a little bit of comfort in certain things. Some people look for a bit of comfort in a pint, right? And if you're doing that once every 3 months, it's not really a bad thing, right? I'm not saying in that moment it's not great. And I'm not saying you should look for comfort in alcohol. I'm not trying to promote that. But, we've all done it where you've had a really tough week. Friday night, you go to the pub, you sink a couple of beers, it makes you forget, right? It does, and you go and chat to people, and it just, if used in the right way, socializing, having a couple of drinks can be beneficial. Alcohol will always be detrimental to health, even if you just have 1 glass of wine. But can we say, if I'm in a really low mood and I'm a bit peed off, but I go to the pub on a Friday night, have 3 or 4 pints, I put the world to rights, have a right laugh with my friends, and I leave that pub feeling miles better than when I walked in there, is that worth it? For me, it personally is. Some people might disagree with that. Likewise, every now and then you just need a hug from food. I still need a hug from food now. That is emotional eating. Sometimes I am just a bit like low or a bit overtired or just had a bit of a stressful week, and I was like, say to Rachel, let's just get a pizza tonight. And that pizza lights my life up. But it's if you are emotionally eating 7-8 times a day, like I used to do, that's when it becomes an issue. If you're using alcohol as a comforter every single night to distract you from life, that's when it becomes an issue. As we were saying, moderation is key. Right, let me scan down. But conquering emotional eating, again, it all depends on how severe your weight issues are, because it would be naive to think that people that are 2 stone overweight have the same eating and emotional issues around food as someone that's 20 stone overweight. They don't. There are different levels of alcoholism. Someone that goes to the pub every night and has 3 or 4 pints and it's become a habit is an alcoholic, right? And they go, no, I'm not. No, you are, right? You're not an alcoholic as in, you're smashing bottles of vodka in left, right, and centre, and you're hiding. I used to have a mate that was an alky, and he'd come round to mine on a weekend to watch the football, and he'd claim he was sober, right? And he used to come round every weekend with a bottle of Orange Lucozade, right? And I never questioned him on it. It wasn't my, he sort of knew, but he'd sit there sipping his bottle of Orange Lucozade. Do you want a drink? No, I brought some Lucozade with me. Yeah, how much vodka's in with that Lucozade? Go on, Bill, tell me. And so that I'm not saying, but if you drink every night, right, you've got some level of alcoholism because you are relying on it. And even if it's just a glass of wine for enjoyment, there's a level there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tar everyone with the same brush. Like I say, I don't go, I have a glass of wine every night. I love it with my tea. Fine. But there's a level there, isn't there? It's the same with eating chocolate every day. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you eat chocolate every day, you've got a bit of a thing with chocolate, haven't you? You love having it, right? And most people that do something every day, even if it's in moderation, they would struggle not to do it for a month. And if you struggle not to do anything for a month, you've got a little bit, like I say, there's levels of issues, So I don't want anyone to go, well, I have chocolate every day, Neil. Is that an issue? No, absolutely not. If it fits in with your calories and you've still got an overall healthy diet and you don't, crave it too much, it's actually great that you eat chocolate every day. But I reckon anyone that eats chocolate every day, if I said, right, you're not going to eat chocolate for September, they'd be like, oh, really? Just the same as someone that just has 1 glass of wine every day with the tea. If I said, right, you're not having a glass of wine now till October, they'd be like, well, I like having a glass. Exactly. So if you can't leave it alone for a month, I always think there's a little bit of a thing there, but I'm not saying what I'm trying to say is everyone's got that little thing, but some people have it under control. And if you just have a glass of wine every night, you've got a level of control to it, and that's never going to be detrimental to your overall health. It's never going to be detrimental to mental health. It's never going to be detrimental to your livelihood. And if it's something you enjoy doing and it doesn't have any major knock-on effect, then carry on doing it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Everyone has a little kind of what we might call a little vice or something, Just wondering something. In the past, when I've lost 10 stone, I've always had issues with body dysmorphia. Yeah, mega common. Even though I know I've lost the equivalent to a person, but I couldn't see it. Have you gone through this? Yeah, absolutely. 2016, really bad body dysmorphia. And do you know what I did? I used to have it badly in the gym. So where you suffer your body dysmorphia is generally when you look in the mirror. Body dysmorphia is in all different shapes and sizes. Someone that's 9 stone that thinks they're fat, they've got body dysmorphia. They think they're fatter than they are. Someone that's 13 stone, right, that's gone from being 20 stone to 13 stone and they still think they're fat, they just can't see the new person. They still see the old fat person in their head. Again, it's a mental health disorder. It's a mental health issue. Body dysmorphia is very common in like the bodybuilding world. You get all these bodybuilders walking around full of muscles, absolutely huge, but they look in the mirror and they think they're tiny, right? And this is where they then start pushing things like performance-enhancing drugs and stuff like that, right? So yeah, very, very common. I went through this really badly in 2016, and I don't know if it's just that I got to a point where I don't know why it crept in. I never struggled with it in 2014, never struggled with it in 2015. I don't know if it's because my loose skin was more prominent or just for whatever reason, it just got into my head. But I only really suffered with it, like I say, in the gym. The gym was the place because there's so many mirrors everywhere. And I think as well in 2016, don't ask me why, I started wearing more tighter tops. right? Thinking, oh, I'm a gym boy now and I wear more tighter tops. And when you wear tighter tops, it enhances your rolls and your bumps and this, that, and the other. So you start seeing those sort of things. And maybe it was just, I don't know, a few different reasons. So what I used to do was I used to have a picture of 37 Stone Neil in my gym bag. Right? I used to have a picture of 37 Stone Neil in my gym bag. And every time I got it, I used to get it out. And I used to stand and look in the mirror and look at my old picture and then look in the mirror. And it kind of gave you a bit of a rationale. It gave you a bit of a logical sort of sense. Like, this was you, Neil. Do you see that there, really? No. Now I can see the difference. So that would be my thing, Gemma, Every time you're struggling with body dysmorphia, and you'll feel it when you're looking in the mirror, you won't feel it unless you're seeing yourself, and you only see yourself in the mirror. Now, you might see it in pictures, right? But always have on your phone, always have on your phone you at your biggest. Have it on your phone, have it a picture, in your gym bag, have it in your handbag. Have a picture of you at your biggest, right? And every time these thoughts, you might look on face, someone you've been for a night out, someone's took a picture of you, maybe just not got quite the best angle of you, and you're like, oh my God, I'm still really, really fat. Revert back to that picture of you at your biggest, right? And your brain is illogical at times, but when it's faced with something that's like that you can't hide from, the logic will kick back in. Honestly, it will do, and you'll be like, is that? No, is it toss? Right, and you'll work on it. And I did that. I did that. You know, eventually your body dysmorphia will sort itself out because I generally think it will, but I also think body dysmorphia can be a reason for people self-sabotaging. What we need to understand is we're not used to the new body we're creating. So again, something else I'm going to cover on this morning's Weight Loss Coaching Live. If you want to come and watch this morning's Weight Loss Coaching Live, they are so beneficial. Like I say, this morning we're talking about comfort zones. And what Gemma's talked about there, I'm going to kind of be covering it a little bit, right? So our comfort zone, and it sounds daft, my comfort zone was being 37 stone, right? And you've got to be prepared to step out of that. But there's going to be things that happen when you do step out of it, like body dysmorphia. And, but you've got to be willing to move out of that comfort zone if you want to progress. And sometimes when we go out of that comfort zone, we just automatically think life's going to be better. And sometimes it isn't better. So then we try and put ourselves back in our comfort zone. That's part of self-sabotage, right? So lots of elements, lots and lots of elements. Do you know what? I'm absolutely freezing sat here now. I am Baltic, not Baltic. It is cold. I am going to be going shortly. 5 minutes. I've got my Weight Loss Coaching Live at 10, and I am hungry. I need, I'm going to have a yogurt bowl this morning. I only ate 1,600 calories yesterday. Did I over-restrict myself? No, because Saturday, Sunday, I had 9,000 calories. Having the odd day of low calories will never over-restrict the body, right? Over-restriction is something we do over time, right? I'm just having a look now, actually, at my iPad, what my actual calories were yesterday. So 1,682 calories. The knock-on effect, though, of me eating quite a low amount of food yesterday is generally I'll be a bit more hungrier today. I won't overeat today. It won't cause me to overeat, but, I'm going to smash in a 500-calorie yogurt bowl now. That will sort me out. So lunchtime, I'm going to record a couple worth of calorie things today. And that, again, will sort me out until when will that sort me out till? Probably tea time, to be honest with you, because again, I'm really busy this afternoon. I'm heading to the gym at 4. So if I have my big yogurt bowl now at 9:30, that'll do me till about 12:30. I don't like exercising with food in my system, like food digesting out my stomach, basically. It's just I find it a bit uncomfortable. I can get indigestion. So I'm going to have my dinner at about 12:30, and then that'll do me then till I get home to night time. And although if I was sat at my desk, I'd probably be starving at 4:30, having my dinner at 12:30. At 4:00, I'm going to have a little bit of an energy drink, caffeine's an appetite suppressant, and then I'm busy. I'm doing weights and I'm spinning, so that'll distract me. And I'll be really hungry when I come out of spin, but then I'll be having my tea, so I'm all good. Hi Neil, would you recommend get a PT or just go to the gym yourself, get training? It's one of them. It depends how what you want to do in the gym. It depends how experienced you are. It depends what your confidence is. You know, I have workouts on my website that people can follow, and it's a really good start base, teach the basics for going to the gym. But can you really, you know, having a good personal trainer is great. They're really, really good. Yeah. If it's a good personal trainer, if you want to train properly, you know. So yeah, like Dan put there, I started off with a PT, then went solo. And just go to a PT and say, if you're working with me and you're happy with my calories and my philosophies, just say to him, I don't need you to get involved with the nutrient. I've got a weight loss coach. I'm working with them. Right. I'm happy with that. I just need to learn what to do in a gym. I'm just lost. I walk in here and I'm like, I don't know about routines. I don't know about form. I don't know about technique. I don't know what I should be doing for me. And they'll just teach you. They'll teach you about putting routines together, whether you can do old school routines, whether you want to do more kind of like hit-based sessions, whether you want to do low reps, low weight, high reps, whether you want to do high weight, low reps, whether you want to get into compound lifting, whether you want to get into full-on proper weight training. They'll teach you push-pull leg splits. They'll teach you old school chest, back, biceps. They might just teach you upper body, lower body. They'll just go through and they'll just the same as a mechanic will service your car, a joiner will put you up some shelves. They're professionals in their game. Now, if you're going to get a personal trainer, do your research, have a look about. You've got to find the PT that's right for you, right? So have a look about, if you go into a gym now, that gym will have several PTs in there. Get their card, follow their social media. What's their personality like? What's their training like? Look at what, they should be putting, in this day and age, they should have videos on of, giving maybe little bits of advice or little video montages of how they're training other clients. They might also have some like little testimonials on there, and just go through and maybe have a little look at who they're training. Do they have a target market? Oh yeah, that person predominantly trains females 30 to 50. That person predominantly trains males 18 to 25. That person predominantly, if you've got a personal trainer will just say, hey, I'm thinking of having some personal training sessions. Do you think you'd be good? Yeah, right? Because it's a saturated market and they want your business. So you need to do a little bit of research, and then don't feel like you're stuck with a personal trainer, right? Ask him for a consultation. A good personal trainer will not only give you a consultation, a free chat, they'll give you a little session. So, yeah, come on, we'll have it out for 25 minutes. You can tell me exactly what you want from me, and then I'll take you on the gym floor. We can do a little bit. We can do 15, 20 minutes. And then, if you like what you see after that, we can get you booked in for some sessions. And if you're, and be firm with it, if after 20 minutes you're like, yeah, this person, I'm spending 2 hours a week with this person week in, week out for a few weeks, they're going to do my nutting. Just say, oh, thanks very much. If they go, right, would you like to book him some more sessions? Just say, let me have a little think about it. It was just a little taster that I wanted, and you've given me, some food for thought, and go away. And don't get me wrong, you might hurt their ego a little bit if next week you're trying out another PT in the gym, but it's your money and it's your life. So I've had it before. I've had PT clients come in, not often, but I've had clients that I've worked with, and then they've not had more sessions with me. And then 2 months down the line, they're with another PT, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? But sometimes it's just not a good fit. It just is what it is. A good PT will always help. I paid for 10 sessions and now solo, and still he says, if you need help, ask. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And tell the personal trainer what you want. That's the big thing about a personal trainer. It should be personal to you. If you tell a PT what you want and they try and divert you into training the way they think you should train, that's not personal training. Don't get me wrong, there has to be a little bit of yin and yang. There has to be a thingy. I usually go to bed at 11 p.m. and always wake up around 2 a.m. and start snacking. Any advice to stop if I hit my macros for the day? Any advice, please? Yeah, Stephen, why are you waking up at 2? Why are you waking up after 3 hours sleep? There's a reason why. So this isn't a thing. I don't need to give you advice on to stop snacking. you need advice onto why your sleep patterns are rubbish. So what's the issue? Why are you waking up at 3 o'clock? Again, is it mental health? Have you got things on your brain? You're a bit of an insomniac. So generally we wake up in the middle of the night because our brains just don't stop, right? Why is that? Answer those questions, then work on that. Work on improving your mental health, and you'll work on having a better night's sleep. Now, is it something as simple as you're having caffeine till late at night time, right? If you're struggling, if you're waking up at 2 o'clock, but you're drinking coffee till 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon, maybe it's something to do with that. Are you eating a lot of sugar before you go to bed? You can eat whatever you want within a calorie deficit, but if you're over consuming like things that digest very quickly, break down, and are designed to give us a little bump of energy, if you have a Mars bar at 10 o'clock at night time and you sleep for 8 hours afterwards, fine. But, is it a case of you're eating too late at night time? Is your digestive system kicked in, which is why, that can happen. There's lots of different things. But the big thing is, why are you only sleeping for 3 hours? That's the issue that you need to sort out, right? And then obviously, if you go to bed at 11 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m., right, you're going to not be snacking in the middle of the night. So it's not a straight fix, that one. That's a bit more something you need to look into a bit deeper. Yeah. Right, guys, that's me. I'm out of here. I'm going to grab my yogurt bowl. If you do want to come on my plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, it's my link tree, right? link.tr.ee /real lost boss. That's all you need to go to. There's an inquiry form in there. Fill out an inquiry form. Send it over. Hi, Neil. See you on TikTok. See you on Facebook. See you on YouTube. Interested in your one-to-one plan. And I'll send you all the details. If you're like, I've followed you long enough, you've talked about it enough, I just need to get involved and I don't want to miss out on summer deals, you've got a week. So get signed up. There's a shop in my link tree that has my one-to-one monthly, one-to-one yearly. When you click on that link, it does take to my website. All the details are in there. The discount codes to get a discount. Brief description of what you get on my one-to-one plan. Get signed up, and we'll take it from there. We get you started Monday. As long as you sign up before Wednesday, before tomorrow night, maybe Thursday dinner time. As long as you get your consultation form straight back to me, I'll get you started on Monday. Guys, have a great day. I will not be back on social media today. I'll be back tomorrow morning. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube at 8:30 a.m. because my Everything Weight Loss session this week is tomorrow night. If you are on Planner in the community, I will see you lovely people in around about half an hour or so after I've smashed my great big yogurt bowl in for this week's Weight Loss Coaching Live, which is stepping out of that comfort zone. So yes, you lovely people on Plan in the community, I will see you in just over half an hour's time. Everyone else, have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will catch you tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. See you later. Facebook, YouTube, I'll sign off to you second. I'll see you tomorrow morning. If you're not part of my plans or anything like that,